It's time to cut these back again. You can see they reached the top of the lights, and yeah, it's quite a extension above the cups there. But you'll notice I have areas I can cut it back to here. Those are the suckers. So I should be able to do that, do a little root trimming, and keep her going. Alright, I've taken them out of the pot here. That's what they look like out of the pot. I'll remove these. I'll reuse them, but for now I'm going to remove them, and I'm going to separate these, and then we'll go to trimming. I've got these on an old face rag here that I use for various things. But it's really dirty, but it doesn't matter for this. So what I'm going to do first is separate these and put them back in the water until I do what I need to do with them, just to keep them, you know, from going into more shock than they normally would. So I'll take the first one here. I'm going to dip it just to, because I've been letting them sit there for a minute while I set up the camera. So, okay, the first trim is this one. It's pretty obvious to me. We want to bring it down in height, so we're going to cut it back to that sucker there, and we'll put this foliage on the side over here. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out some of these roots there. We're going to leave those, and that one is done. Let's do this next one. Let's see where we're sitting with that. I'm going to take out this one. And I've got a sucker here, but it's a little immature. So I'll just take out this one. And we'll leave both of these growing tips for now. And I'll take off just a shade of these roots. Alright, this is another one that's not too far along. I've got a sucker in the crotch there. I've got a flower cluster I'm going to remove. I think that since there's two suckers here, I'll remove above the second sucker. That way I've got two chances of it coming on here. This aside, and these roots are already pretty trimmed, so we'll just leave them like they are for now. Kind of the same with this one. I've got two sucker capabilities here. Remove that one, and that one had little buds growing on it too, so I'm going to remove this as well. So I've got two suckers here, and the roots I'll just trim back just a little, taking them off. It's still a little high for me, but I've got, looks like a sucker might be coming along here as well as here and here, so hopefully we can take it back to this one before on the next one, or maybe the one after that, because it's still getting a little bit leggy for my taste. This one's going to be a good one. I've got a good growing tip right here, this sucker here, but I want to leave one sucker here in case this one dies for some reason. And it's got a lot of roots along the stem here, so I can cut back a good portion here. So this one's going to be quite a bit more stunted because I took a lot of the roots off. This one is pretty good where it is, so I'm just going to leave it. I already did this one, didn't I? Yeah, so that's it. This is the finished product. And what I'll do now is I'll add the other cup. And what I tend to do is I remove any allergy or discoloration with just a paper towel here within the cup, and I'll add fresh nutrient we'll just put it up to about that point for now until I get them back in. I'll touch the bottom with the roots and make this, whoop, this one's kind of, I won't say falling apart, but it's damaged because when I pulled it out with the roots that were in the thing, it kind of made it wider. Like that makes sense. You're probably like, what the hell did you just say? All right, you always kind of gotta manipulate the little foam pieces here where they're pushing against each other and kind of holding each other from slipping up or down. So that's it. I'm gonna add some more water. Nutrient water. We're going to get rid of this water. I'll put it in one of my plants here in the grow room. I'll wipe this cup out. There we go. And we're set for another one. I'll put the bubbler back through the middle and she's good to go. That's what it looks like now. Much lowered, less roots, so it'll slow the growth. And if you didn't know, I've got just this one little 4 watt, I think it's 4 watts, 3 watts of power. It's got 2 outlets. Only one is in a cup here, the other one's sitting up here. And so that's all it takes is just a small little fish pump. And I also have it on a timer here. You'll see down here. And it cuts on and off regularly just to save some wear and tear on the pump and even a little bit of electricity, although this is next to nothing. These pumps are designed to run 24/7 for fish anyway. Alright, this is the last video for these specific suckers that I've kept for months now, and I am not going to grow these anymore. I want to use fresh seed from Thunderbird, so it starts at exactly the same time because Thunderbird is going to be a trial against my tomatoes, my parthenocarpic tomatoes, and every year I trial all kinds of varieties against my tomatoes. I've done Chef's Choice Red, Big Beef, Bella Rosa, Big Dina, Celebrity, Better Boy, and this year I'm doing a couple of determinants, Thunderbird and Red Snapper. And so I'm going to terminate these, but I do have 3 tomatoes that are growing over here that I'm going to sucker, and it's the same concept. It's a little bigger aerated water culture, and I'll show you that, and then I'll publish this final video on it. The concept's the same. It's easy to keep the suckers for months from the previous year, whether you have a favorite plant or you have a one plant only and you took all the suckers off as time went by, which is what I did with these exact suckers right here. I was taking them out to dispose of them and I couldn't. It's hard for me to kill off stuff even though I breed, and I kill off a large portion. So I took these 5, since this particular bed won't be used for another 6 weeks or so, 6 or 7 weeks. We've been having some pretty warm temps, so I'm just going to let them have an opportunity until I plant this bed. This will be my dwarf lines of tomato in this bed. And this is the latest version I'm going to do for that. This container itself I used for hydroponic lettuce growing. It's one of those creamer buckets that's taller, so it's a bigger, and I painted it black. And so I've got the bubbler down in there now, just demonstrating. I made a smaller hole for that so I can pick it in and out. And these are just little net cups with plant foam. This is actually hydroponic foam. And I'll just put the sucker in between there and push it down in there. And it's just a fancier version, I guess, fancier if you call it that, of the cup method. And there's more liquid, so it can go longer without having to change the water out and roots. So yeah, as soon as I get ready, I'll put those 3 suckers in there.
How long do we gotta stay here for people we don't know in one lines? All of the clothes are designer, fast cars and who knows who. Yeah, I know what they wanna say. They're gonna ask me if I'm gonna make it. I don't care if I'm gonna have to fake it, long as I can